area that was still lacking so well when it comes to intensive care for kids in this particular case. So pediatric unit is for children who need specific care, and the intensive care unit, because it's not the unit that was not existing, no, it's the intensive care unit that was not existing at that time, and there's a new one that's supposed to be provided for Korle Bu. She's of the opinion that this would make the hard-working professionals at that place continue to provide the services. It is painful to have people who know their job, who have trained across the world, and yet cannot get the right systems in place for them to be able to do the work that they are supposed to do. So that is what happened there. But something seemed to be taking the shine from that particular big, what they call it, project. Like
Tell me about
they did with the MBU at the Confanachi Teaching Hospital. That event is a young man whose name is Reginald Sechi Brown. Reginald Sechi Brown is a final year student at the Pharmacy Department of the University of Ghana. He went to this particular event with a placard insisting that the University of Ghana Medical Center, the $270 million project, ought to be opened and available for use. So that placard communication was very close to the First Lady. That warranted the security people there, we understand, to now take the man away and go and put him in their cells, what they call it. We understand he's been given bail now.
Bail now. Yeah.
Now, Ifya Tenga, who speaks for the Accra Region Police, says that the reason why the guy was arrested was that if he wanted to carry out a protest, there's a procedure in the Public Order Act that he needed to follow. So notify the police that this is what I'm going to do, so that they will provide adequate processes and what they call it, facilities for you to be able to do it without any glitches. So he was given bail at the end of the day when he stayed there in the police, what they call it, cell for a couple of hours. So he was given bail finally, and then that particular bill started the conversation on, so why are we still having a facility that the people say it has been completed, first phase, yet not open and put out for public use? In fact, the Minister for Health this week has been speaking and said that Friday, they will tell the people of this republic why the facility is still not open for public use. You do recall that there was some 50 million required for second phase and completion of first phase activities.
Yeah.
But many who have visited and actually reviewed the place so that there are consumables that are still having warranties that are not being used currently.
Yeah.
Mindful of how huge this cost is supposed to be, and the crux of the conversation why we are not having the place open is on management. You know, the back and forth as to whether the University of Ghana
would manage it or the Ghana Health Service.
Or the Ghana Health Service. No, the Ministry of Health would have to determine who gets to manage it in the first place, because it was government that secured the amount of money involved from the funders for the institution to be put out there at the University of Ghana. Of course, it was during Mills's time. I think Mohammed's time is when they had to continue with the process. Yeah. I saw the short cutting some time back when I was on campus anyway.
And you were talking about the health minister. The same health minister who said that they couldn't start operating the hospital because they will not let it run on the national grid, and that there were no standby generators. Only for us to go and find out, for Joy News to go and find out that there were standby generators.
Yeah, part of the plan, yes. So I think that the health minister is running out of excuses, to be fair. They actually have shifted the goalpost for right from who gets to manage it and who incorporated it. Then it became an issue that that's not even what you should be concentrating on. Then later on they said, no, it's not even ready and open for use. How about the first part? This, okay, we agree that now we can use one part of it, but we still have to go through a process. This thing went to Cabinet. Cabinet asked for an amicable settlement. And we are in 2018.
Okay.
This is a big facility that can do wonders.
Okay.
Indeed, I've heard the Ghana Health Service say that it is going to be one of the biggest in the sub-region, which ought to be put to use so that we can have some very serious medical conditions dealt with, and people not flown abroad to go and get that kind of medical.
But it's quite curious, Malik, about the reasons given for the picking up of Reginald, because what was that ruling after the Let My Vote Count Alliance went to court against the police about the same interpretation of this Public Order Act?
No, I think essentially there is, it's well known that the police cannot prevent a person from demonstrating.
Exactly.
And that the question about give the police notice, it does not mean that if you don't give the police, it doesn't mean that the police can frustrate you. And you are right when you talk about at that time the police trying to use Takashi to stop the Let My Vote Count Alliance from their demonstrations. They went to court and they were filing for all manner of vexatious orders to stop them. And the court said, no, you have to be genuine. If you ask the people to ask you for permission, in fact, it is not permission, it is protection that the people are asking for. In any case, one individual holding a placard and you are saying permission ought to be sought for you to provide the person with protection. I think this is a very curious situation. The guy who threw his shoe at George Bush, what happened to him? Was he arrested? And in our political history, this has happened time and again. I remember the guy who caused the accident involving Rawlings, the guy who said that he crossed the motorcade because when he was driving through the road, at first there was no water standing there. But when he was coming back, he found water standing there. So he was forced to use another lane that caused the accident. And that guy was arrested. I think in one instance, the person actually died in police custody. And I think that the police have to learn to go softer on some of these things. At the end of the day, it took the shine out of what the lady was doing.
Exactly.
And somebody said that the first lady should be made health minister because of what she was doing there yesterday.
One thing, Malik, that we will clarify today on the show, because we'll be hearing from Reginald and we'll be going into this issue in detail, is exactly what reason he was picked up with. Because according to the police, our reporter who went to the police station where he was taken to, no reason was given by the people who brought him there. He was brought there. We found in our investigation that he was brought there by some workers of the Kolebu hospital. And later we were told by some of those workers that it was because he felt he was disturbing the peace. So was it a matter of his protection? Was it a matter of disturbing the peace? Was it a matter of a security threat to the First Lady? We'll be finding out today on the Super Morning Show. But Malik, let's move on, shall we?
Okay, let's do National
Identification
Authority. You know, last week I was struggling with this one. So the National Democratic Congress, the functional executive of the NDC, has problems with the NIA. And remember last week I reviewed a story here when I said that only passports and birth certs will be allowed by the NIA in terms of the documents that are permitted for registration. Now the functional executive of the NDC is saying it is not right that the law is not permitting the use of voter ID cards. And the argument is that large number of Ghanaians are using voter ID cards. If you do not permit the use of voter ID cards, they believe that it will eliminate a lot of people and make it impossible for them to acquire this very important Ghana card. And this is essentially reigniting the debate about identity cards. Remember, this same voter ID card became a matter of contention in the lead up to the 2016 election, where Abu Ramadan went to court arguing that persons who acquired the voter ID card had used NHIS card as a source document to register, and that the Constitution did not recognize the NHIS card as sufficient proof of a person's citizenship. And once this document, which cannot be regarded as sufficient proof of a person's citizenship, was used as the basis to acquire voter ID card, that voter ID card itself was not, in his view, a good document. The Supreme Court agreed with him. That was what led to the elimination of many people who use the NHIS card to register. And the
Munti 3 saga.
And all the Munti 3 saga and all of that. So we are back to that again. The functional executive is saying that the NHIS should... the NIA should amend Act 950. This is the National Identity Register Amendment Act 2017. Because this is the law which says that these are the only documents that you can use. They want that law amended to allow the use of the voter ID card, because that's what many Ghanaians produce as a form of identity.
It's interesting. It's really interesting because I've also heard questions being raised about birth certificates and how easy it is to raise birth certificates.
There's a cost arrangement that's very important in this. Now, there are 7 million birth certificates in the country. There are only 2 million passports in the country. Of course, you need a birth certificate before you can get a passport. So presumably all the people who have the passports
have birth
certificates. So 7 million. We are seeking, among other things, to register from 0 to the last age. In this case, we are looking at close to 29 million Ghanaians. How will the rest of the people who do not have any of these get to be registered? The solution is that, one, they will provide officers who will be there to make you take the oath.
And there are 2,700 of them who have been recruited, commissioners of oath.
Yes, but the interesting part is that the existing ones were about 300. What happens to the 2,700 after they are done with this exercise? And why is the NIA using their small resource to recruit people like that?
Well, those are some questions that would have to get into.
Identity is a problem. Yeah. And Daniel, you are right. Even the birth set, you can just call somebody, give details, whoever the person is, and they will produce a birth set for you. But it's that easy in this time.
The voters register was virtually declared clean when they had to remove people who are foreigners, NHIS people. So it makes it a very prudent ID kindly to be used. If it can be used for voting, why not the ID card anyway? But, well...
Yeah, Ray, the first story you brought us was about the First Lady. Let's talk about her husband now, shall we?
The President of the Republic of Ghana is not excited about how mining towns are not benefiting from the mineral resources of the state. Indeed, the President is having very tough words for how people have mined in places like Obuasi, like Pristia, and all the other places, that Acquah, for instance, and left the people who own the resources virtually living in poverty and penury. The President is saying that going forward, we're going to take charge of these institutions and make sure that the people who are the owners of the resource get to benefit from it. And this is what he said at the mining conference, which is currently ongoing. Now, the understanding comes on the heels of what the Lands and Natural Minister did in the case of the Anglo-Good Ashanti, recruiting people to come and do some services they're supposed to get. Now, our local, what do they call it?
Our local content policy.
Very good. Says they should prioritize the Ghanaian people. Anglo-Good sought to use others. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources has gotten Anglo-Good to now change its mind and use Ghanaians. So perhaps the policy going forward with government is that we are going to push forcefully that Ghanaians do not only participate as workers, but also getting the huge contracts and become mining firms. It is interesting to know that the giant mining firms in the country, none belongs to the Ghanaian fully. So all of them are operating as people who are from elsewhere with small Ghanaian participation in some of them, and yet the resources belong to the people of this republic. So the President, Ghana Beyond Aid, is to make sure that we develop Ghanaian mining experts and strong people. The question that comes in is the small-scale mining system, because some small-scale miners are doing large-scale mining with the intent of small-scale mining.
Yeah.
And the money involved in doing so. The best way forward is for the small-scale miners to come together and build a large firm. It doesn't look like they are interested in that, and that's what the surprising part is.
Ghanaian businesses merging. It's not something
banks don't want to merge.
Happen.
Even banks are resisting
Banks don't want to merge.
In fact, marketing men don't want to merge.
Let's do this one, shall
right.
we? So, this is a young man who has been admitted at the Pantine Psychiatric Hospital. He's a student. Yao Kokpate Safu. This guy took a gun and a metal implement and stormed the Kofurudua Efeduasi police station looking for somebody, a police officer investigating him. So he stole mattresses, or he's alleged to have stolen mattresses, and he's being investigated. So he got up and carried a gun, took another metal implement and stormed to the police station looking for the investigator of the case. And he threatened that if he saw the investigator, he was going to shoot and kill him. That created some chaos and pandemonium in the hospital. In the police station, the police officers managed to empower him, to disarm him, and then took the gun away from him. And I was thinking, I said, this guy must be very, very lucky, given that our police officers tend to shoot in some cases tend to be trigger happy. This young man was particularly lucky that they just disarmed him, and he's 19-year-old. He hails from Lashibi in Accra. So he's currently at the Pantine Psychiatric Hospital, because when they detained him, he was showing all signs of mental instability. So they had to transfer him from the Kofodia Government Hospital to Pantine Psychiatric Hospital.
Okay, let's go online now, and the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Banking, your best interest, Goyle, Good Energy, and Selma Courts, managed by Western World Properties. Live your true comfort. Now, Ghana's #1 indigenous oil marketing company, Goyle, gives you innovation that takes you further. The new Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. These expertly crafted lubricant works excellently with all modern petrol and diesel engines, provide superior cleaning and protection, reduce fuel consumption, prolong oil change intervals, and enhance engine performance. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Engineering innovation for your vehicle has arrived. It's available at all over 330 Goyle filling stations. Goyle, Good Energy. Now you too can experience the zenith of banking. Connect with us today on 0302-680-8844 for our vast array of individual, corporate, investment, trade, high net worth, and electronic banking products and services. Achieve your aspirations with Zenith Bank, because we care. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Now, when your landlord says your rent is due and you don't have any money, don't worry, be happy and run to Selma Court located at Katamanso and move into your dream house today. Are you a regular salaried worker or business executive whose income can be verified? Then run to Selma Court today and sign the offer letter, and our finance partners will pay for you with no deposit and no hidden charges. Remember, terms and conditions apply. This offer is valid up to the end of this month, 30th June 2018. The end of next month, I should have said. You can also build your own dream house on your own on our Selma Springs premium plots at Tema Community 25 and Pram Beach. Selma Court is managed by Western World Properties Limited. You may contact us on 0545 558 988 or 0545 559 928 or visit our website on www.selmacourt.com or email us at info@selmacourt.com. Selma Court, live your true comfort. We'll go online now. MyJoyOnline.com says, I'll fight off any attempts to destroy me. And Anas Kwekubako speaking there. Editor-in-chief for the new Crusading Guide newspaper, Abdul Malik Kwekubako, is warning detractors he will fight off any attempt to destroy him and his partner Anas Arimayao Anas. Presidency GRA national security fingered in 1.88 billion Ghana cedi petroleum revenue loss. The CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Senyo Hosi, dropped the bombshell on Newsnight, and My Joy Online is carrying that. You want to see the details of exactly what he told us, accusing members of the officials at the presidency and the GRA and national security of doing this. Adumonline.com says, pastor gives lady 48 strokes of cane to get her husband. Eesh. That's a very painful way to enter a marriage. Ghana engages Togo to avert border boundary dispute. It's 6 minutes to the top of the hour. Let's go for the BBC News at 7, and then the conversation continues. Remember, we'll be speaking with Reginald Sechi Brown, who is that student who was detained at the police station because he was protesting for the opening of the University of Ghana Medical Center. We'll also be having a hotline documentary today where we'll be following the story of women who do not go to the hospital to give birth to find out exactly how they do. Stay with us.
Hey, Atongo, if you that long time,
Coach man, if you me, look, I go for training for abroad.